Hey guys, what do we got going here today? 1/11/2017. Bitcoin gets killed. Bitcoin gets slammed. What the heck is going on? Well, I know that in the news. First of all, let me just rewind a little bit. The last prediction on Bitcoin that I made, I said in the slump, I called this at about 1,000. I said it's going to hit about 850. What it actually did, it hit 817. Rocketed back up to 9, over 9 and some change. So that prediction was pretty spot on. But I did not foresee China stepping in and really putting the brakes on Bitcoin, which is what they did this morning. And apparently it's trading at 752.50 right now, so they're hitting it pretty good. Let's see what we got here. Apparently there's some money laundering allegations, or they're going to hold on real quick here. Money laundering allegations by the Chinese government, People's Bank of China. Yeah, PBOC said a website investigation of Bitcoin exchange, including blah blah blah, aims to reveal possible market manipulation, money laundering, unauthorized financing, and other issues. First of all, you can throw that paragraph out. That is a bunch of BS. That is absolute horseshit. That's just that's plagiarism for the masses. That's propaganda for the masses. But it's plagiarized because the website that I'm looking at just took it directly from the Chinese government PBOC and didn't translate it. That's why it's plagiarism. You got to translate things like this, and this is what's happening. When I first started doing videos, I was a big fan of China, huge fan of China. Today, not so much. And I'm not talking about the Chinese people, I'm talking about the Chinese government. And granted, there are different factions that operate within China, and China, I do not believe, is going to save the day collectively. They might implement policies here or there that might modify things, but I don't think they're going to save the day. And this is one example of that. They are in their ascension to monetary gains. The Chinese government and the Chinese corporate heads have become very greedy. You have to remember that China 50 years ago, 40 years ago was very poor. China was an extremely poor country, and there's a lot of fat cats rolling out of China these days, and they have become addicted to their lifestyles. They become addicted to the money. They become addicted to the wealth, and part of the stabilizing factor for their wealth is the Chinese yuan. You have to understand, 4 of the 5 largest banks in the world are in China. Repeat that. 4 of the largest 5 banks in the world are in China. Okay? So to keep the yuan healthy is not an understatement. Cannot be understated. And that is what's behind the slam, the propaganda, the fake news story about investigating these Bitcoin exchanges. It's all bullshit. It's just hot air. They're just using it to drive down the price because it's in competition with the yuan. And they do not want to discourage or deflate these large banks that have come to dominate the Chinese landscape and have made a lot of people a lot of money. You have to understand the yuan currency to the people in power in China means prosperity. It means success. It means continuing to increase their standard of living, where that is not really the case for people outside of their clique. And I've said in videos in the past, I said the Chinese leadership has become Illuminati-esque. They have become Illuminati-esque. They're not all bad. They're not all good. And they have interests that are very similar to the United States government. The United States government is always trying to prop up the dollar while suppressing gold and silver. The United States government is also in there trying to F with Bitcoin, which they have, but now they're getting cooperation from the People's Bank of China and the Chinese government. All the same rigmarole. They are scared to death of anything infiltrating or having competition with their paper money. That is what it is. It's competition with the paper money. And they can't see, People's Bank of China, PBOC, they can't regulate Bitcoin. That's why they're so scared of it. If you have gold and silver, they can still regulate it, and it still has to flow through their hands, and they could take a chunk out of it. Okay? All the exchanges, I'm sure, in Shanghai, the People's Bank of China has a cut out of that. Well, in Bitcoin, that is completely avoided, and that's what they're scared of. Bitcoin is a system completely out of their control, and they don't like it. And I'm going to close this video by saying, don't expect the Chinese or the Chinese government to save the world. It's going to take a force far greater than them. And thank goodness that the space humans and extraterrestrials are here doing a nice nifty job of mopping up all of the evildoers. And possibly some of these people might include some of the Chinese leadership. But for today, that is what's going on with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will break out of it eventually. I don't know how much more pressure they can put on it, but you can tell that they're scared. They're scared to death of it. And that's what it is. Okay, 1/11/2017. Thanks for listening, guys.